Oh, yes.
Good, okay.
Hawaii.
So I'd like you to imagine, Hawaii. Okay, we'll go Hawaii. I'd like you to imagine that you're walking through a forest. Okay, and it's that time of year when the leaves are slowly floating down to the forest floor. And we're walking through the forest and we're making that wonderful noise that leaves make. But instead of leaves, it's paper. Now, what's the normal colour of paper? White. Okay, thank you. Now, we're at the top of Whistler Mountain during the Olympics. We're skiing down and everybody's throwing snowballs at us and all the snow's around us. What's the normal colour of snow? White. What do cows drink?
Milk.
No. Water in the audience. Water. Cows drink water. But isn't it amazing? Most of you have heard it before.
It's your fault.
Yeah. When we are led in a particular direction, we say what the person who's leading us creates the picture around us get to say. So that's what we're going to talk about today. It's about influence and persuasion, and how we can influence people. In fact, a number of you have seen this proposition before, so let's, this is the proposition, if you like, for this evening. Can everybody see that? No? Let me move this across then. Okay. It says the key to our personal, financial and company success is in our ability to positively influence others to take the action we desire them to take. Anybody have a problem with that phrase? No? That's good. So I've been accused previously of saying that it's manipulation, because we are influencing others to take the action we desire them to take, not necessarily their own desire. So if that is a problem, and obviously it isn't a problem here, it's about positively influencing people. The key really is, though, to take action and then desire. And desire for me is the absolute key. And for desire, read perhaps passion. How many of you reasonably and seriously are passionate about what you do? Good. Because it is a truism that if we are not passionate about what we do, how can we get other people to be passionate about what we do? And there are some times when I'm in a room, and every hand went up, which is fantastic. I'm in a room where people kind of put their hands up. They're in the wrong place. They're in, both mentally and physically, they're in the wrong place. Passion, to be able to persuade, to be able to help other people is the absolute key. So what we're going to look at today, in fact, let me put one further proposition to you. I was here when Jim Rathbone gave his talk. This was going back about a couple of weeks back, or a couple of meetings back. And I was very impressed, partly because I helped him to make that presentation as well, but that's a different thing. But certainly he talked a lot about process, didn't he? He talked about what are the mechanics of making something work. And there is a document which, if you wish it, I can send it to you. I can send you it in PDF format. It's about a 26-page document. It was research conducted by Nightingale Conant about 5 dangerous issues that can damage our business. And these were the four elements, certainly the 4 major elements that they identified, that the reason, it's mainly for sales. So if I may ask, how many of you are involved in sales? Again, the vast majority. How many of you are involved in selling product? Right. How many of you are involved in selling services? Okay. Because that's the reality. What comes before product and services? What do we sell before we sell product and services?
Ourselves.
And so that's what I'm going to focus on today. I'm going to show you a framework which is called the 7 keys for perfect communication, perfect pitching, perfect influencing. It's an acronym which I will display to you in a second, but it is very much focused on how we identify the other person's need. And that is a question I'll ask you in a second. So this is what we found are the 5 most dangerous issues that could damage our business. It's a lack of sales skills. How many of us have actually been trained in sales? Okay. The vast majority of us haven't. How many of us have a specific sales process? A sales process, good, so that when we're sitting in front of the client, we know the steps to take. How many of us have a referral process? How we formally ask for referrals? How many of us have a cold calling process?
What's that?
It means picking up a phone.
Picking up the blooming phone.
And saying,
Everybody's pet hate.
yes, everybody hates it.
Everyone's scared of the phone.
It is important, though, to have a process for each of those other elements. And the other process that we need is, how do we pitch? How do we pitch so that we find out what their need is rather than what we want to sell? Because people are fed up with being pitched at. A lack of ongoing sales training. We may have been in sales, we may have been trained in sales, but it's a new reality now. We've got the internet, we've got the LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. All of these elements form part of a different way of selling. I still maintain, and it's very interesting, Nick was saying about QVC being, a shopping channel, and I'll ask a couple of questions, if I may, about QVC in a second. But what they have found is an old rule, which is still the same today, regardless of internet television, regardless of all of the ways that we can communicate with people, it still takes 8 points of contact before somebody decides to do business with us. It's true of QVC. They've worked out that it takes about 8 people viewing, or 8 times of people viewing, or having some information from QVC before they jump off the fence, trust to buy. So it's that basic rule is still there. The lack of focus and accountability. We were chatting before about, I know we've got to do this, and I know it makes sense to do it, but I don't do it.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to ask, and just having a look at the numbers here, what I'm going to ask is for you to pair up, choose a partner, and whatever you decide that comes out of this evening, in terms of an action that you're going to take, hold your partner accountable mutually. Frightening? It's a commitment. Because we're going to be talking for about 45 minutes, and I just have to make sure that my time is right. The only way that this session will be of value to you is if you decide to do something and somebody holds you accountable